Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. And we're going to be talking about Fani Willis. Yes, that person. Now, I believe I made a video about this 2 or so weeks ago, and I had a few leftist activists that were coping and seething over the reality that was there. Now, I post all this stuff in the comments and the description down below, so people will get to see the actual stuff there. So, be as it will, look at that. Now, I know they're going to cope and seethe about this other video that I'm even making, because, they just can't cope with the reality that their side is very corrupt, but I digress. This is something that is going to be huge, and going on forward, there's supposed to be a hearing today, which I think is still ongoing, could be over, that she's going to be disqualified for the Georgia Trump case. And if that is the reality, then Trump just had a massive win. Don't know. We're going to keep up to date with that. Probably most likely tomorrow, because I have to get around and do research and stuff like that about it. So without further ado, here is the first clip of Fani Willis and her ex-fiance having with corruption and all this other stuff of going back and forth. One person says another person says this, and there's a lot of hearsay and other things that's going up in the air, and this clip's going to explain it for you. Take a look.
Has filed other affidavits in his divorce case which contradict this affidavit. His interrogatories, which were sworn and verified and filed in that case, said that he did not have a personal relationship, that there had been none. So we've got two declarations in two different courts, both sworn, both filed with the court, that say something completely different. His May 2023 affidavit, where he was asked if he had, and this was in 2023, Judge. So the state's response last week said they had a relationship that began in 2022. In May of 2023, he filed in the Cobb County Superior Court a pleading that said specifically if he had had any relations with a person other than his spouse during the course of the marriage, and the typical things that are asked in a divorce case, and he responded none. After we filed our motion in this case, he updated those and he pled privilege under the Fifth Amendment. So we've got a filing under oath by Mr. Wade in 2023 stating he didn't have a relationship. Then we've got a filing stating he did have one starting in 2022. And then once that came about, he fixes the incorrect affidavit that was filed back in 2023. So we definitely have a conflict, Judge, in the evidence as far as when this relationship started.
So, leftists, I know you're going to start talking to me now again, which please, bring it on. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. So, the reality is that there is a conflict of interest of what is going on here with these two people. One is saying that there was a relationship, and then he's also saying that there was the relationship. Well, there's an issue. We have to get to the bottom of this. Was there really a relationship or was there not? And it's showing, very evidently from my previous video, that there was a pretty strong evidence of there being a relationship with these two, plain and simple. And if you guys want more signs of actual corruption here, here is one judge that is talking about the actual relationship and the amount of evidence that is going on here with that said relationship. And it's not looking too good for Miss Willis here. It looks like the Fani was getting her bun really pretty much packed, and it's really hard for some people to swallow. Not so much for me, because, it was reality. I'm just hearing what the judge is saying and what the reports are coming from. But for others, they're having a little bit of a seething and coping problem.
Several of the motions to quash today are arguing that we shouldn't have a evidentiary hearing at all, and that quash is appropriate on those grounds. So to that end, in studying the law that's been filed up to this point, I think it's clear that disqualification can occur if evidence is produced demonstrating an actual conflict or the appearance of one. And the filings submitted on this issue so far have presented a conflict in the evidence that can't be resolved as a matter of law. Specifically looking at Defendant Roman's motion, it alleges a personal relationship that resulted in a financial benefit to the district attorney, and that is no longer a matter of complete speculation. The state has admitted a relationship existed, and so what remains to be proven is the existence and extent of any financial benefit, again, if there even was one. So, because I think it's possible that the facts alleged by the defendant could result in disqualification, I think an evidentiary hearing must occur to establish the record on those core allegations. So just to emphasize, I think the issues at point here are whether a relationship existed, whether that relationship was romantic or non-romantic in nature, when it formed, and whether it continues. And that's only relevant because it's in combination with the question of the existence and extent of any personal benefit conveyed as a result of the relationship. With that being said, I don't think that means that everything that has been raised in the defendant's motions, and Mr. Roman's or in the ones adopted by co-counsel, demand an evidentiary hearing. The testimony that would be produced at this hearing is not a deposition. It is still subject to the rules of evidence.
And yeah, as we see here from this judge has said that the relationship was real, this actually existed, and how it's going. And it doesn't seem to be too great. And now there has to be seeing if there was any actual financial benefit or personal benefit from this said person, and he is going to move into be able to disqualify this person from the actual case if this seems to be true. Now, you leftists and people can cope and seethe all you want, but the judge said this plain as day, and we all know how this is pretty much a banana court republic right here, or what we're seeing, and this is just complete dishonesty. We're seeing the judge to where he is coming out and saying, well, the reports the state has come up with as showing this, and this is not looking good. So we're going to have an actual hearing here to see if you actually will just be able to you actually qualify for being disqualified from this case. And it's not looking too great for her. Now we have some more information to where there's other Judge Robert McBurney is going out and saying this, that, did you actually benefit from this conflict of interest? What is going on here? I don't know what your plan or idea was, where this is something that you should have been known or prepared for, or thought this was not a good idea. And he's really laying into her. And this was something happening about a few years ago as well, where she's emboldened with this huge amount of corruption. And without further ado, here's the clip.
Using the title of your office and having on social media that you, as this political office holder, are holding a fundraiser for the opponent of someone that this political office is investigating. I don't know that it's an actual conflict, but I use that phrase, what were you thinking, where the prosecutor thought I could prosecute the co-defendant of someone I defended. It's a what are you thinking moment. The optics are horrific. If you are trying to have the public believe that this is a nonpartisan, driven by the facts, and I'm not here to critique decisions, the decision was made, but if we are trying to maintain confidence that this investigation is pursuing facts in a nonpartisan sense, no matter who the district attorney is, we follow the evidence where it goes and ignore the fact that I hosted a fundraiser for the political opponent of someone I've just named the target. That strikes me as problematic, maybe not from an actual conflict level, but if we are at a cocktail party and people are asking, do you think that this is a fair and balanced approach to things? I do. Well, how do you explain this? How does one explain? I mean, that's the concern I'm working through, is that it's not a lowercase a appearance. It's like a capital A with flashy lights fundraiser, district attorney for the political opponent of someone I've named the target of my investigation, where I'm the legal advisor to the grand jury, and I'm on national media almost nightly talking about this investigation. That's problematic.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we're seeing here to where Miss Fani Willis, that seems to have fundraiser own stuff for her opponents and stuff like that, and for her own cases, which is obviously not very legal, and which is a problem. Now, it may not, he did say that it may not be a conflict of interest, but it doesn't look very good, optics-wise, of what you're doing here, right? And this lady is showing to have a massive amount of corruption, a massive amount of history of just being corrupt. And we can't keep forgetting that she has worked with the DOJ, she has talked with the DOJ, talked with Biden and all this other stuff, and the fact that we see Biden pretty much sending this person to go after him, and now we see all this information where she is giving money to her husband, she has this horrible affair, she also had this amount of fundraising for something that for like a political opponent or what have you, or defensive thing type of deal. Like, this is insane in all aspects. And now there's even more craziness. We're seeing that there has been multiple whistleblowers that are willing to testify and go against Fani Willis here to expose more of her corruption. And this is going to be held on the actual hearing here of Fani Willis. And this is not looking good for her at all. If there are being several whistleblowers willing to testify against her, this is not good. Her career is essentially going to be completely over after this, if any of this remotely ends up being true. And for what we're seeing here is, it's more than likely, not saying all of it is, but it's not looking too great for her. And this could very easily just have the case be completely dropped against Trump, and, you know, him running around victory laps. This is not something that's looking too great here, and here is the clip of this happening.
Willis and her affair with a member of the team prosecuting former President Donald Trump. Republican lawmakers say several whistleblowers are eager to come forward and testify that Willis misused state and federal funds. Now an emergency hearing is scheduled for this week. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran joins us live from Atlanta. Elizabeth, what do we know about these whistleblowers? Any idea who they are?
Yeah, no, we don't know who they are. We did hear from the lawmakers on Friday, and they told us that they have these whistleblowers. They tell us that they have quite a few of them who are eager. So two things working against the DA, not only the state lawmakers with those alleged whistleblowers, but also lawyers say they have proof that she was lying before this trial or these allegations ever began. So Ashley Merchant is the prosecuting attorney here. She claims that the affair with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade began long before this racketeering case. And she says that's contrary to an official affidavit just about a week ago from Willis. So she writes in part, this is a motion that was filed on Friday. Since Willis and Wade were not forthright about their relationship in the first instance, there is no reason to believe they are telling the truth now. So Merchant represents Michael Roman. He is one of the co-defendants with former President Donald Trump. She says she has a paper trail to prove it. She says she has plane tickets. She has bank statements. She says she has documents that claims Wade has billed Willis at least $728,000 in legal fees so far. The DA's office is obviously trying to dismiss the evidentiary hearing that you mentioned. That's scheduled for this Thursday. But pressure is growing on her by the day. We are hearing from State Senator Bill Cowsert. He is spearheading that. Claims that he has multiple employees who are eager to take the stand. He met with reporters on Friday saying, you lose the confidence of the public in the fairness of our criminal justice system if they think prosecutors are engaging in prosecution so their lovers can get rich and they can share the benefits of that. He went on to say this is not a witch hunt, but Marquita's investigation is falling up and down party lines in the state Senate here. State Congress, rather. And I will say that this panel does not have the power to remove the DA, but they do have the power of the purse because obviously the district attorney's office is funded by the state. So there is quite a lot at risk here. I mentioned that evidentiary hearing is scheduled for this Thursday.
Yeah, this is the story that keeps growing new legs every week. Elizabeth Pran, thanks so much.
Yeah, so now we have it that Willis's affair began before her hire. She misused funds and is using something to date somebody to get rich and all that other stuff. And it's insanity to me. This is where we're seeing the actual corruption here, where she's been caught deer in the headlights, and she is not looking too great here. It is quite remarkable on how things are going. And as I said, we have multiple people here, several whistleblowers that are going to go out and testify. The disqualify hearing is is today or this morning, so I'll find out more about that later today as time rolls on. So please bear with me. Now, I will say it probably won't be today where I'll do the news report. I'll try, but I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to get that out in time, so it'll most likely be tomorrow. But nonetheless, this is what's going on here, and this is the reality that everybody's going to be facing. Now, I know there's going to be a huge thing here with a lot of these guys. So, here is the comments of what I got here on my YouTube channel when I did the story here, the report of what's happening with Fani Willis. These people are really not happy with the fact that I am reporting on this and calling lies or whatever when they can see it for themselves, that they either did not watch the full video, did not go into the description and find the information for themselves, and they're really coping and seething, and I find it absolutely hilarious. The far left can't understand the actual huge amount of corruption that is on their side, but nonetheless, some of them are asking general questions, and I have people also in my comments that are asking them and telling them stuff and trying to answer them, which is good. My whole point of this is to give people the light and vision of what is going on here, so that way you get to see what's really happening from both sides. I do things from both the Republicans and the Democratic side. I play no favorites. I hate both. But we have to understand here that there is corruption, and these people are going after Trump for meaningless, baseless information, and they're just trying to do it to enrich themselves, along with a spice of corruption along the way. So, be as it may, that's just the reality. Alright guys, more stuff coming up today. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. This is algorithmic disease, the social media.